Okay.
Welcome to BizChicks TV. We're here to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. Here are your hosts.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Terralina, and this is Francine, and we're the Biz Chicks. And we want to welcome you, those of you watching live and on the replay. So, we always like to talk tech this time of year, and so we're going to go straight to talk about Tech Life Weekly and this week in tech history. What do you have for us today, Fran?
Well, it is Black History Month, and so I have a couple of stories about Blacks and Browns in tech history. And today we're going to be talking about Marie Van Britten Brown.
Okay.
She patented a home security system February 18th, 1966. Yeah. Okay. She filed her patent in 1966. She designed a system with peepholes, camera monitors, and two-way communication. It included a remote-controlled door lock.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So modern home security systems trace back to her original design. From doorbell cameras to integrated alarm monitoring, she built the blueprint.
Wow. I knew she did the visuals, but I didn't know she actually had an electronic door lock. Go, girl.
I was like, okay. Yeah.
She was the precursor to the Ring doorbell. Go ahead.
Yeah. All of that goes back to her designs.
Oh, like closed circuit?
Closed circuit camera, all of that is her design. Wow. And that is Marie Van Britten Brown. That's pretty cool.
Is she the nurse whose husband was concerned about her coming home late at night in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Necessity, the mother of invention.
Right. Then we have Jose Hernandez, although, okay, like I said, Blacks and Brown. He was selected in NASA as an astronaut February 2004. He was selected to the astronaut corps February 2004. He flew aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery, and he was a former migrant farm worker turned electrical engineer and astronaut.
Wow.
So STEM access, his impact has, STEM access expands when representation expands. So it hits, you can see his movie, it's out. The title is escaping me, but he grew up in Stockton as a migrant farm worker.
Stockton, California. Because, there are a number of Stocktons around the country. I just wanted to be specific.
Stockton,
like
California.
Paris, Tennessee, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So we have representation in tech and space. So tech making tech history today. February 17, 2000, Windows 2000 was released, and it strengthened the NT architecture and business computing infrastructure. February 18th, 1977, Space Shuttle Enterprise did a test flight. It completed its first captive flight atop a Boeing 747, and it paved the way for reusable spacecraft missions. February 19th, 1987, Apple Computer registered the domain. Years before the mainstream public internet adoption, they registered apple.com.
There you go.
Go get your digital domain. You know what I mean? Go
Yes.
get your digital real estate. Getyourname.com. Even if you don't use it, go get it. Okay. And that was early positioning in the digital era. February 20th, 1962, John Glenn orbits the Earth as the first American to orbit the Earth, and this marked a major milestone in U.S. space capability. February 20th, 1986, the Mir Space Station was launched, and it's the beginning of a long duration of orbital habitation. It set a precedence for international space station collaboration. So I think different countries are using the station, you know, Russia, United States, China,
A collaboration, yes.
So tech making history this week, AI integration is becoming standard.
All right.
Smartphones increasingly feature on-device AI processing. So this is like Apple, Samsung, and they are having the AI built within the phone, not necessarily going out to the cloud. And, you know, like you have to go out, and if you're using Claude, Perplexity, or ChatGPT, you normally have to leave your device to go use it and then come back. Well, they're making it so that everything is integrated within the phone. Apple has ChatGPT integrated into the phone, but it doesn't have the capabilities for which we know ChatGPT.
Okay. The app does.
Right. And so you using ChatGPT within the phone right now, it doesn't do everything that we have come to use it for on the outside. Like,
okay,
write this, do this, da 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 da. Those things have changed a little bit. Wearables are delivering predictive health insights. So the Oura Ring, the smart watches, and those type of devices are helping with predictive health.
Yes.
And AI assistants are being embedded into laptops and productivity software as well. So there are quite a few AI companies who have put their AI capabilities within a browser, for instance. I use Atlas. There is Copilot. There is, what is Perplexities? They have one too. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in there, and it allows you to do things with the AI from the browser on whatever page you happen to be on, instead of having to again go outside. Okay, leave the browser, go to the.
Is that like Gemini within Google? I don't know.
No, not quite. Gemini is its own AI. So Gemini is an AI, and I don't know if Google or if Chrome has. Oh, Chrome does have a Gemini built in now.
Because it's on when you do the search thing. There's a little thing
Yeah,
there.
it says you can ask. Like right now, I'm in the Atlas, and it says I can ask ChatGPT anything about this particular window I'm in. So if you're on Chrome, Gemini would be able to do the same thing.
I can see it up in the corner.
Yeah. So the AI assistants are now embedded into the laptops and productivity software. So before, where you had to go out to go get your AI help, everything, the AI help is being baked in now, if I can say it that way. And AI is no longer an add-on; it's infrastructure right now. Everything is being built with AI already in it, so you can get answers to things and now, instead of going to go dig. Software-defined vehicles, over-the-air updates continue improving electric vehicle performance and safety. cars increasingly operate as connected software platforms, and many of the cars are getting AI
Okay.
in embedded into the cars as well. Well, it already was because the computer is
I was
definitely.
going to say, if it's connected to the internet, then isn't it automatically, once we connect there, whatever we're on brings AI into the car?
Yeah, well, AI was in the car if it was an electric vehicle anyway.
Mhm.
You know how when we talk to people about AI, we've been using AI forever. It
Oh,
just
like
was
when we
never
talk about the GPS, et
all
cetera.
of that. Yeah, this is just taking it a step further. The cars can do things like on my car. Whenever there's an update, I don't have to take it into the dealer. They just send an update over the internet and
Mhm.
update whatever system needs to be updated.
Okay.
Like back in the day when you had MapQuest on your phone and they needed to update the maps to when new streets came on and whatever, that you would have to update your MapQuest to or your TomTom or whatever map company you were using. It needed to stay updated. Oh, there's a new street, there are new houses over here, so there's new everything, and it had to be updated.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Wow.
Okay, and let's see. Okay, so cars are increasingly operating as connected software platforms, and the hardware ships once and the software evolves weekly. So, now some tech and consumer news.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Samsung is gearing up for its Galaxy Unpacked event February 25th, where the Galaxy S26 series will debut, and including improved chips, camera, and privacy screen tech. Reports suggest that Meta is preparing a new smartwatch expected to launch in 2026.
Mm.
With health tracking and AI assistant features that tie into its larger device ecosystem. I don't
Okay.
know if I want Meta messing with my health stuff, so just okay. Broader wearable trends from CES include AI-enabled glasses, smart fitness bands, health sensors, and enhanced AR experiences. Samsung is bringing flagship AI features into more affordable phones, narrowing the gap between premium and mid-tier devices and expanding smart capabilities to a broader audience.
Mm. With ads, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's that. Google Gemini's AI assistant can now generate short custom music tracks from text or media, a sign of creative AI tools moving into everyday apps. Okay.
Oh, so Gemini's creating soundtracks now?
You can let me make sure I
Read
look.
that sentence again.
Google Gemini AI assistant can now generate short custom music tracks from
Okay.
text or media. So you
Okay.
can type it in. Kind of like Suno. They
Mm-hmm.
just didn't, you notice they didn't mention Suno, but
Mm-mm.
okay. And this is a sign of creative AI tools moving into everyday apps.
Mm-hmm.
The Mobile World Congress in Barcelona is happening March 2nd through the 5th, and it's shaping up to be a major launch moment for new phones, tablets, foldables, innovative gadgets from Samsung, Honor, Xiaomi, TCL, and others. Okay, so Apple is also talking about doing a foldable phone.
I know. I saw that. I was just like, okay, whatever, people. I don't understand why people just don't. Well, whatever. I'm
Yeah,
sure they know better than I do.
fold it, unfold it. Okay. I think sometimes people just want something different, and they have a reason, I suppose.
I'm sure they do. And that's why I said, just let me just chill.
So what matters, this is a trend perspective. Devices are no longer just hardware. Phones bring AI and connectivity baked in. Wearables are becoming health and productivity hubs. And displays and audio gear continue to push premium experiences at every price point. Expect tech that feels personal, personalized AI, adaptive interfaces, and seamless cross-device experiences, not just raw specs and big launches. That's your week in tech history.
All righty. Thank you so much, Fred.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. I did a little presentation for Black History Month that I'd like to share, talking about, you know, African Americans in tech. So, and some of their impact. So let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, how's that?
I see.
Good. Innovators of impact. African American tech inventors who changed the world. Let's talk about it. Mark Dean, he was an IBM engineer and the co-creator of the PC. He did the ISA bus, which is invented architecture enabling the PC expansion. And you would
Mhm.
put these buses in and out of the motherboard and expand the capacity for learning, the capacity for retention, and eventually it led to the graphic card, which is how we got gifts, etc. So he's responsible for over 200 patents. He's one of the pioneering innovators in computing, and he shaped personal computing as we know it to bring it right to our desks. So let's talk about this communications revolution sparked by Marion Croak, voice over internet protocol pioneer.
Mhm.
Her groundbreaking work enabled every Zoom call, video conference, and internet voice conversation today.
Oh, you mean like StreamYard too? Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
200, she's responsible for over 200 plus patents that transformed digital communication. Her impact was 100% by the voice over internet protocol. She powers a modern connectivity. So she's responsible every time you make a Zoom call. Think about this woman. Think about her impact during the pandemic when kids could not go into buildings. We couldn't go into the office. We could enabling all that communication to take place. And now telemedicine. Just
Mhm.
this woman has had an impact. Marion Croak. And then Lisa, I can't pronounce her last name. Goloper. Anyway,
Jaloper? Okay.
I will take that. Okay, she's responsible for being a digital media innovator because she was the one who was the early creator of the GIF technology development for web animation. So every time you send a little emoji or something dancing, this is girlfriend stuff, okay? Digital platforms, tech leadership, and media innovation. Because every platform uses some form of a moving gift, etc., in it. As far as online culture, she shaped how we communicate digitally. Because a lot of people, a lot of different cultures really use those emojis. I mean, and now we're starting to integrate them into our culture. But all of this is the result of the work done by Lisa. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
I did not either. Now we know about Lonnie because we talked about Lonnie the other week, right?
I think so.
He's the one with the super soaker.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but he's his impact was not just that. From engineering labs to innovation, he was the one responsible for the advancement of tech in batteries in terms of advanced energy storage systems. So, all of our electric cars, the things that power us to get to outer space, because, the capacity to retain that energy to go and come back. Okay.
That part.
That part, you might be interested in that if you're an astronaut. So he is one of the leading NASA engineers and is responsible for aerospace innovation expertise. That's what he's known for. His consumer impact was the super soaker inventor, because all of us know about that, and it's still booming. He made billions on that. Engineering that makes everyday life and brings joy to children. So let's talk about the impact of these folks. They shaped artificial intelligence future, so they had an impact on AI development. They are building tomorrow's applications with their software innovations. Remember, they're the foundation for these things. Robotics engineering, they're creating intelligent machines with the legacy of what they started. Tech entrepreneurship, launching game-changing startups. So let's talk about why is this important? Because representation in tech has an impact, and here's what people had to say about it. They say diversity drives innovation, creates opportunity, and shapes a more inclusive future, because 78% of tech workers say diverse teams are more innovative, because you got this synergy coming from different perspectives.
Yes.
45%, they say 45% they're more likely to capture new markets and diverse leadership, because diverse groups know what's missing in their particular universe. And they're 2 times more likely to better problem solve in a diverse engineering team. What problem will you solve? What tech problem matters to you? What skills do you want to learn? How can innovation create opportunity? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves today as we think about tech this week. So in order to do that, we need to learn how to build foundational skills and knowledge, develop new solutions and protocols, and our impact will change the world with our ideas. Every innovator started with curiosity and determination. Your journey begins now.
Nice.
Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Steve Jobs. The future of technology needs your voice, your vision, and your innovation. And that's what I wanted to share. We're needed in this space.
Yeah,
We're
we are.
important in this space. And I want to emphasize this. We have always been important in this space. We just need to educate our children to the fact that we have always been important in every space.
And we need to
because there's a myth that we do not know what's happening in this space.
But we do.
We do. We invented most of it. Okay. But yet, when you see graphics of children playing with things and being creative in this space, a lot of times they are Asian. And we have to ask the AI to redo the picture and include us. Okay. So hey, let's spread the word that this space came from this space. And that's what I wanted to share with you today.
Can I add, and we're not add on, but
Uh-huh.
my opinion about this, about us not being able to take advantage of everything. It's like how can I say this? We have relied on the school system to teach the things that we should be teaching our children. I've never relied on the school. Yeah, the school ABC 1, 2, 3, but they have their own set of problems where they have to teach the test, and the teachers are stressed, and they're not paying. There's a lot of things there. So I don't subscribe to they don't teach. No, you do it. You do it, and we have AI, and we have technology. You have a device. When you are making dinner with your kids, hey, did you, this is what I do with my daughter all the time. I say, hey, did you blah, blah. I always tell her stories about my grandmother or this, or when I was a kid, or the music, or whenever I have a thought about it, I relay it to her, because I'm like, it's in my mind, but she doesn't have it. So I can't get mad because I saw a discussion, I think it was on Threads or somewhere, about R&B black music that the kids today don't know any of, like the OJs or Earth, Wind and Fire. And people are in the because the person was like, oh, it's sad that our music is dying. I'm like, it's not dying. You're not sharing it with them.
Oh, it's died in your house?
It's dying in your house.
Yeah, dying in your house. Whenever I think of something, because I get this from my grandmother when I was a child, she would tell me and it would go bloop bloop, because I'm a child. I'm like, I want to go out and play. I don't want to. Now today, I'm like, I wish I had all of those things that she was trying to tell me. I remember a little bit of it, but kids' retention they're focused on today. So this thing about our education, and we can't do it. Yes, we can. A young mind has to be trained. You can't just release the child to the wild and go, well, you get mad. I read stories online about they're mad with the teachers, and they're going to curse the teachers out and fight the teachers because No, you can't just drop your kid off and go, okay, get your education. No, you gotta fill in the blanks, and it's easier now, because if you got a phone, I don't want to hear no excuses. You got a phone, you use it for, what do they use it for? Playing games or gambling or what? You know how to do it for that. But education, people. That's my little rant.
Could I add to what TJ said? Good morning or afternoon, by the way.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. So to your point with the music and dying, like you said, is it dying in your house? Because this is what has happened with social media. All of these challenges have rehashed older music. And so now younger generations know about it. Case in point, if you think about the Patrice Rushen song, Forget Me Not, remember there was a whole challenge around that. And so they often will go back to older songs for these challenges, just because the beat works.
Yes,
it's so much better. It's danceable. That music back then was made to be danced to be grooved to. So of course they're going to rehash things, because not that you can't dance to popular music now, but that music was made to be danced to. And then also I watch the rise of micro dramas, which are everywhere now, but there are so many younger people that are making micro dramas that are meant to be period pieces. So like from
Right.
the 1940s, and they'll bring in the Mid-Atlantic Act and see, that type of thing. And so there's been a whole resurgence of that. So in terms of older culture or older music, it's not dying. It's just being reborn on new forms of media.
Yes, I agree with that, because I was remembering I saw something they showed a clip from that showed Soul Train clips or American Bandstand. I'm like, when I was a kid, those were the things that came on TV and you stopped and watched it. And that's how you got exposed. But like Dr. Tati saying, new forms of media now. So if you're not watching TV or the TV's not on or the kid is on the phone, interject into their staring at the phone and say, hey. And here's another thing. I've heard like things on social media. I've heard songs that my daughters listen to. I'm like, you're listening. She doesn't know what it is, but I know what it is. And I say, oh, that's a song from da 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 da. And I have a discussion about it. But Dr. Tachi's right. They're using a lot of songs, older songs, but the kids they don't know what it is. Like they don't know the artists or.
This is a new way of telling the village story.
Yes.
We have to tell the story. We're going to need to use our digital devices to do it.
Yeah.
But the story still needs to be told.
Yeah.
And we're passing it down. It's just in a different way now.
Yeah. And see, a lot of parents today, I'm saying lazy parenting. We've talked about it in other things. Lazy, you cannot just, well, I had the kid and I'm dropping it off at school, or I'm dropping it off and I want to do something else. I know parents are tired and everything, but your job as a parent is never ending. I'm sorry, you never get any rest. You think because they're babies, when they became toddlers, and there's a whole nother level of worry about everything, so you never get to rest. I see these people online about the kids and this and that and other, like, but you're a parent, you have to continue to do that. It never ends. It never ends. You still got to do the work. So I'm like, you have to do this. You can't just drop your kid off at school and go, well, they're not learning this or that, especially when you have places like in Florida where they're taking things out of the curriculum. And I see the crying online about the Black studies, this and that. I'm like, but you are the teacher.
Yep.
You don't have to have I gotta have a teaching certificate and lesson plan. No, like Fran said, you told the story.
Since you brought up Florida, I'm convinced this is a model community or model state for dummies. So education for dummies, literally. Because I don't know what it is, but remember, this was never meant to be the bastion of education. If you look at so many, for example, higher ed, if you look at so many of the institutions here, you've got older ones like the University of Florida, Florida State,
FAMU.
the HBCUs are all predate, are all in the 1800s, right? Even if they moved, because Florida Memorial, which is here now, was in North Florida until they got burnt out by who.
And remember, all of that was because agricultural schools was the 1860s. There was something in
you had a lot of
the agriculture, right? So that's where it comes from.
Exactly. So there are older schools here, but then when I look at South Florida in particular, that doesn't have this place was not meant. It was agricultural. It was not, and then later tourists.
Yes.
And tourism. It was never meant to be an intellectual center. So fast forward to 2026, you have the offspring, several generations down removed, of the people who never wanted it to be an intellectual center, and it shows every time they open their mouths or make something. I don't want to necessarily talk politics, but all you have to do is look at what the Florida House, and the Florida Senate, what they focus on. So if you look at some of these things that they have focused on, so for example, right now they are renaming the West Palm Beach Airport. You could guess after who.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, but We have a terrible education system here. So instead of spending your time and energy, Florida House, on those types of things, this is what you do. Because it had to rename an airport, it has to go through there. So, these things don't exist in a bubble. They all tie together. So I just wanted to mention that since you mentioned Florida.
See, just real quick, tying it to politics real quick. This is all in the Project 2025 thing that was laid out in 2024 about what they're going to do. The Department of Education is all to make people a certain group of people less educated. So they're less educated. They don't have much education, so they can't get into the system of world of getting a job. So it's all economic and politically tied. They have an agenda, and it's going to be, like you said, in Florida, it's being pushed through.
This is why you teach your. I am all for homeschool.
Yeah,
just teach your kids.
That's what I mean. Don't just drop them off and pick them up, and then you just clock out because I understand you're tired from working, or you had to deal with a boss, or whatever the thing is, but you still gotta interject some things in there, and don't say, well, black music is dead or R&B music is dead. It's not dead.
No, far from
it. And the homeschooling system, there's a shift happening. As an entrepreneur, if you're an educator and you can help homeschool parents with their curriculum and all of the stuff that they need.
Yeah.
Because if I was a parent now, my kids would never go to public school because I now have a system that can help me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And this is funny that you mentioned that. I just saw, tying this all together, I just saw on Facebook she was a student at the university I was teaching at, but she was also the admin for our department. So, when you work for the school, you get, so
right.
So
right.
She was just wonderful, a wonderful person. And so she actually left when she had twins. So these twins are now 12 and they just got admission into dual enrollment. So they're 12 years old. They're starting high school, but they also have dual enrollment at a local community college.
Wow.
At 12. And so she homeschooled them. So part of the thing is when she left to have the twins, because she had intended on coming back, but then she was like, okay, well, her and her husband like, well, let's think about this. So she was able to have the opportunity to homeschool her children. And look, she's turning out Fulbright scholars.
And here's the thing, people will go, well, I can't homeschool because of XYZ or whatever, but this is an opportunity for somebody like that person to start their own homeschooling thing to where it's more than just their kids, it's the community kids or the this or the that, right. And then you charge a fee. Right.
This is what's happening. My granddaughter was homeschooled. She tried going to high school. She was like, oh no, put me back.
Sit down.
She's like, get me out of here, put me back. Well, sometimes when I was there and had to take her to the community college where she's in class with grown people, she's in class with adults.
Right.
And she's taking equestrian and she's taking all these things that you will not get in a normal public.
You won't get that.
And so she has a whole different perspective than what you would have gotten in a regular school setting.
Right.
I was like, okay.
See, there's an effort to keep us uneducated. If you don't know, it's there. I mean, just look. And I'm saying no. Push back.
You don't have to do it.
Homeschool, teach them yourself, whatever. All the information is at your fingertips now.
What, right? You can.
All of it. How do I ask your thing, whatever it is, how do I homeschool? You get the answer.
And my sister's an educator and she provides, she's in Texas. So she's put together a package for anybody homeschooling where it meets the state requirements.
Right.
So if they ever called you on it, you already are teaching your kids according to the state requirements,
right?
But you're doing it at home.
Right. And then you can go beyond whatever the
Whatever they
basic
wanted.
thing that they have.
Yep.
I love it. So that's my thing. I was just like, listen, we can't, it's okay. Yes, they're suppressing or taking, or the kids don't know. And this is, they're not learning this and that. You teach it. You
Right.
as the parent. Oh, I just dropped my iPad. You as the parent teach it.
And you don't have to stay in the dark. You don't have to put up with it. Hey, Maureen, good
There's
morning.
no more dark ages.
Mm-mm.
Not with this. Thank you, Steve Jobs, or whoever you want to thank, Google or whoever, for the devices we have. They're used for education. A lot of people use it for entertainment. I understand that. Entertainment, TikTok videos, media, this and that, all of the gossip, it's fun, but it's use it for educational purpose, especially with the youth.
Right. And yeah, because I think they had to start out using devices. Look how much fun you can have.
Yeah.
Until we caught up with the fact, oh wait, I can do what?
Always think about over in China, their TikTok is totally different for the kids.
And it's totally different for everything.
It's educational in other countries.
Wait, speaking of TikTok, there was this commercial about the guide rails or something for your kids. And I'm like, why is this dude old telling me about this? He was old. Okay.
He was old.
But he was talking about, make sure, we put in guide rails for your kids. And I'm thinking this picture is incongruent. Why are you telling me about this? And I'm going to see if I can find the ad, because it did not compute. Wow. And there's some subtle things that don't go together. Yeah. Old dude, young platform telling me about 13-year-old where we can't, something is wrong with that picture in my
not connected properly.
I was like, wait a minute. And this was a commercial. I'm like, okay.
Ooh, lots of things happening, and
I'm like, no, that is not how that goes.
Question everything. So that was my thing when we're talking about them. We have the capability to build them back. I still have $6 million man on my mind, friend. On Tuesday, like better, faster, stronger. So
yeah,
it's there.
It is.
Pick it up.
All righty.
What's your turn, TJ?
I think it's you, T.
Okay. Let me make sure everything is okay. I dropped my device. Make sure I got my notes. And yes, let me make sure. Sync? Yeah, it's synced. Okay. So this week in social media news and updates. Oh, excuse me. This week in social media news and updates, we start with Snapchat. Now, I went down the rabbit hole with this. I was like, Snapchat, with this story. So Snapchat is launching creator subscriptions. So remember we talked about Meta and their subscriptions. Snapchat has already had Snapchat Plus, but this is the creator side. So they're introducing a subscription feature that will allow creators to earn recurring income directly from their most engaged fans. It doesn't come from Snapchat in that way. It comes from the subscriptions. Okay, so Snap is going to test creator subscriptions, what they're calling it. They're starting with a small cohort of Snapchat creators called Snap Stars. Those are public figures or creators with a large and engaged audience in the app. So they've, these are Snap Stars that have been verified by on platform content or their celebrity status in the world or whatever. So it's like, the elite of the elite. So they are they are in this program. So here's the monetization initiative. This is what the article called, monetization initiative. So subscriber exclusive content, including subscriber only snaps and stories. This is what's available to when they put out the subscription. Priority replies to a creator's public stories that increases the user's chance or the fan's chance of being seen by the creator.
Mm-hmm.
An ad-free experience within the creator's stories, uninterrupted viewing of creators' content. Because in Snapchat, when you're looking at the stories or you're looking at everything, there's a story ad, story ad, and you can swipe through the ads. That's the good thing about on Snap. You can swipe through the ad. You don't have to. It doesn't hold you prisoner, so you can swipe through. Snap says that this program will give creators a range of options to drop subscriptions, for them to take up the subscription. Creators taking part in the program will also be able to set their own monthly pricing, and Snap recommends tiers. So this gives them flexibility for their income. So the subscription price within a range of $4.99 to $19.99 per month. After platform fees, creators will receive approximately 60% of the subscription revenue. They also get performance data to help them see how the pricing tier that they chose, how it works out. So they'll be able to decide if they want to increase or decrease it. So right now, creators on Snapchat currently earn revenue through ads and stories and Spotlight under the company's unified monetization program. Creators need more than 50,000 followers, as well as 25 million views or 15,000 hours of cumulative view time per month. Those are the rules for them to get into the monetization program. Snapchat said that the alpha testing for creator subscriptions will launch on February 23rd. A select group of US-based Snap creators, they plan to, if it goes well, they plan to extend this to Canada, the UK, and France. So this is what they're doing because, and the article called it direct-to-fan subscriptions. So this is what Snap is doing, because they're seeing revenue increase from this, because tied into this, Snapchat Plus has 25 million subscribers. So that's the other side of this. Snapchat Plus, the what is it? Is it 99 cents or I don't remember the pricing for Snapchat Plus, but it's a fee that the kids are paying. They get the Bitmojis and they get all the little stuff in that they like. So they're saying more than 25 million people signed up, and Snap is generating over $1 billion per year from this non-advertising business.
Say what?
That's what this article said. This is TechCrunch. That's what they're getting. Also in the Snapchat Plus is this Lens Plus subscription. You get access to new AR features. You get memory storage plans and different things. I forgot what all of the things are in Snapchat Plus, because I'm never paying for it. But there's stuff in there that these kids like to use.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is from the quote from Snapchat. Since launching in late 2022, Snapchat Plus has become one of the fastest growing consumer subscription services globally, with subscriber growth every quarter. What started as an early access program for our most engaged Snapchatters has quickly scaled into a meaningful business that they, and Snap is happy because this is non-advertising revenue. Okay. And we talked about what Meta was doing, and I forgot who else, because they're like, okay, it can't be advertiser only because of greed. Let's call it corporate greed. Like, okay, they're beholden to the shareholders. They got to increase revenue year over year, whatever. How are we going to do that? Well, we're getting advertising money, but we are not offering subscriptions. So Meta goes, we're going to offer subscriptions because that's another level of revenue, because they see Snapchat do it. I think does TikTok have I'm trying to remember what TikTok has, but Snapchat Plus has done this since 2022. And they have steadily seen revenue growth from it. They're happy because you got the advertising revenue and here's the non-advertising side. Okay.
I bet I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I bet they would have rethought their push to spectacles if they had thought about doing this first.
Right.
Because they lost some money with spectacles.
Right. Because they came out with that first when they should have done You know, hindsight 2020. They should have done the Snapchat Plus and then
And then
Yeah.
the hardware, because
Yeah.
now is, I mean, I think it was too early as well.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Now
was.
is the time for that. They could have had that. You can file the patent for it and just sit on that. You don't have
Right.
to be first. You just have to be right. It's better to be right
Yeah.
than first. So they could have sat on that and rolled out this type of thing, especially during 2020, during the pandemic, where people were captive and were looking for things anyway. I'll be quiet.
Mhm.
Good for you that
No,
you
you're
started
right.
it now, Snap.
You're right. They might be kicking themselves in the butt right now, but there's this growing wave of subscription of okay, Meta's doing it, Snapchat has done it, X. That's what I was thinking about. X was first with their thing, and so now they're seeing it can't be advertising. Well, it can be advertising only. I'm saying you could just be happy with the advertising revenue, but they're not because they're corporations and they have their earnings call and they have subscribers, shareholders,
Mhm.
and they have shareholders like I gave you my money, I want a return on my investment. So you got to
Mhm.
keep that thing got to keep turning. Got to keep turning. How do we get more revenue without increasing expenses? Because we got to keep the expenses low. That's one of the things. Like the expenses has to be low.
Mhm.
Subscriptions. Oh, people aren't going to pay because Snapchat is free, because Facebook is free. Yes, it will stay free, but Meta's doing it as we've got all these wonderful AI tools and we're going to let you use them for free, but we're going to put them gatekeep them behind this door and you're going to give us $3.99 a month or whatever it is a month to use the AI tools. See, that's what Meta's doing, because they're like, we're not ever going to make you pay for Facebook proper, like Facebook the blue. You just go in and do what you got to do, because that's how you keep them in. If you have a cover, ladies get in free, but who has to pay? Men, because they're like, well, all the women are going in there, so we're going to pay that. So that's what they're doing. They're like, we're trying to get more money. So Snapchat is doing it because they're seeing an increase in Snapchat Plus. How do we layer on some more revenue?
Mm.
So what Facebook is probably going to do is pare down the stuff that you get for free.
Yes, they're gonna ease up off of the because now the AI stuff, you can just go crazy with the AI stuff. I
Now,
think, and doesn't Meta have a separate app, a separate Meta AI app? So
yeah, they do. They have Meta AI.
yeah.
So, but I've seen it. They're paring down. Like if you get ChatGPT, the free version, you don't get all of the stuff that you get with the $20 version.
And you get limited. We talked about that too. You're limited on how many things you can ask. And then it says, oh, you're running out of credit. So you're running out of things to ask. And they're like, okay. But that's how business works. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what happens. They give you it for free. You get used to it. And you're like, well, I want more.
Oh, it's cracking.
To the subscription table.
Is that what they mean by let's get cracking? The first taste is free.
Let's get cracking. Okay. I just thought it was interesting to see that Snapchat is like they're doing more subscriptions, but it's all layered. It's not one big thing. It's layered. It's layered. Like you can use Snapchat. You don't have to have Snapchat Plus, but the kids that are doing this, that, and the other, they want the Plus. Well, who pays for the Plus? Either they pay or the grandparents, or it's the birthday, it's Christmas, or the parents pay, and the kid is happy. Kid is happy and they get to go in this other world. Their friends are all together. They want to go where their friends are. Now, I was looking at Snapchat today because reading this stuff, and I was like, I haven't looked in a while. And I'm seeing all of these things that it's like Dr. Todd was saying about series. I saw a lot of things besides my stories on the top. There was a lot of stories of I want to say brands, but not brands. There was a lot of entertainment. I'll say magazine style things, and it's all branded.
But you're right.
Yes.
You're right. It is brands that are doing this, and in fact, they're doing this because it's cheaper for them to launch studios for their own content rather than to pay for advertising on somebody else's platform. So you're
Right.
right. It is brands.
Right. So it's not even like a brand. I saw something called Hair Stories. And I think they had a video of Sierra and her son dancing, but
Okay.
the account said Hair Stories. And you can tap on the little name, and I looked at it, I was like, Hair Stories, and it was about African American hair and da, 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 da. But to get me to look at it, there was a picture or the video cover, because everything's little square covers of them dancing. I was like, well, what does that have to do with hair? Because I'm curious. So if you're a fan of Sierra, you want to see her son, you would tap on that and you go, oh, Hair Stories, and go down a little rabbit hole. So I saw a lot of those, and I was like, it's not really branding like a brand like Nabisco or Oreo. It's more like a content creator that has a brand, and then they have a logo. Because I saw another one, a lady that was a chef that was cooking something, but her brand was over the top of the video. And all of them was like that. And then they have, of course, they have Entertainment Tonight and the magazines and the gossip, and one was called The List. But I like that it was catchy because the brand was overlaid the video, which made me curious. And a lot of the videos had nothing to do with the branding. It was just, okay, this is popular news, or this is something popular, or this is a celebrity. And then you go into, it's like they have it set up like pages. And the thing I was thinking of is more like a magazine kind of thing in Snapchat. Because at the top, there's the stories, and I can, message whoever I'm friends with in Snapchat. I can message them at the top or see their stories. But once I scroll down, I get to see the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I like this. Because people are saying, oh, Snapchat was dead. How many times? Snapchat is dead. I'm like, it's not dead. It's just not your thing. But now Snapchat is like, okay, we're starting to do more branding things and advertising, and now subscriptions. It's like layers. I loved it. So that was my observation for Snapchat. So I was trying to figure out how to get in there, because they do have a section on your profile. You can have a public page profile, and you can do things privately. Because remember, Snapchat that's what makes it work with the 13 to 24, whatever crowd, is that you have private messaging with your friends, like passing notes in school, and then you have a public side where you put things out publicly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I looked at one person that popped up was Candy from Real Housewives.
Real Housewives,
yeah. Well, she's not there anymore, but that was her start. But now she's on Broadway and everything. So she did some stories of, she's in the dressing room. She has some pictures. And it was a lot of stories. And I'm like, well, this is not on her Instagram. And I saw a couple other people like that. I'm like, they're feeling like they can share more privately, so to speak, with Snapchat than Instagram, because on Instagram, all the news journalists and people know to go to Instagram and look at your stories, and so-and-so said so-and-so, and they're arguing or fighting, or somebody made a statement, but nobody's doing that on Snapchat. So I see Candy and another couple other celebrities. Keith Lee had a whole bunch of things on his Snapchat that are not on his Instagram. And I'm like, if you're a fan of that celebrity or that person or that brand, you're going to hang out on Snapchat because there's more things. Because I think Keith Lee was in New Orleans or something.
Yes.
He's got some event, something, I forgot what it was. But he had like 20 stories over there. Like they're at the parade, him and wife, and he's laughing. And whereas his Instagram and his TikTok is more like, I went to this, and let me show you my food. Like it's more productive, or not production, because he doesn't do production. It's more like a setup. Whereas his Snapchat was more free flow, more free form, more in the moment. And I love that. So if you're a fan of a person and you're like, you see all their stuff on Instagram or TikTok, go over to this, see if they got a Snapchat, because they're doing more in the moment, more, there's a word I'm trying to think, in real life kind of things, where you feel more connected. I was like, okay, cool. I'm liking this. Now the thing about
Spontaneous.
with me and Snapchat, I don't like all of the junky celebrity stuff, like the stupid thing,
There's a
the
lot of
kids.
stupidity.
Yeah. So I gotta wade through that to find, like, I want to see if CBS is over there with news, or I want to look at news and business over there rather than pop culture. There's a lot of pop culture, which I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that that's not my bag. I want to see if I can get more stuff that's not pop culture stuff, all of that gossipy, which is cool. I'm like, there's an industry for that. Bloggers, gossip bloggers. That's it.
That's how the shade room got started.
I don't want that. So
yeah.
But I'm just saying that I realized this today. I was like, I got to spend more time on Snapchat because I was looking at this story and I was like, let me go see. Went over there, saw some things that opened my eyes, and I was like, this might be some opportunities. And also, there was an article in Digiday talking about Snapchat and how people are making a lot of money. Hold on, real quick. Let me see if I can bring it up, because somebody was saying, here. So one of the creators said, I never have a day when I'm making less than $200, said Josh Horton. He has amassed 624,000 followers on Snapchat. He joined in the early days, but he says he gets 1 million daily views on his stories thanks to the platform's discovery tools. So he has days where he makes over 1,000, but he has days where he makes less. But he's saying there's not a day where he goes beyond the $200 mark. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
I'm gonna have to that is a good reminder, because I've been on Snapchat since maybe 2015.
It'll tell you, because mine was 2015, because when you go to your profile, it'll tell you when you joined.
I think it was 2015. And I used to be like super into doing snaps. They were stories before anybody else had it. So I was really into doing it. And that's how I would do my Mediascope briefs, like on a daily basis. So I'm like, I think I want to get back into doing, because doing those types of things on stories on IG is not the same for some reason. Not that I wouldn't, but there was a different feel when I was doing it on Snapchat.
Right. Because the thing is, it's the Instagram user consumes content differently than the Snapchat user, only because it's like you can go in a different country. So you got to adapt to, when you go to LinkedIn, you think you post differently than you post from Instagram or Substack or whatever. So my thing discovery wise today was like, I need to take a look at Snapchat. I put the article to Digiday in there that I was like, I got to go back and read. But when people were saying, like, oh, I made money and this and that, because remember Snapchat had the Snap Creator Fund. Remember a couple of years ago, and we were talking about they would give it out $1 million a day on views, and then they got rid of it.
That's not sustainable. That's why.
Right. It's not sustainable. Snap was like, whoa, we're giving out too much money out of our pocket. But with this, the creator subscriptions, it's not coming out of Snapchat's pocket, coming out of the fans' pocket. And Snapchat gets a piece of it. What was it, 60%? The creator gets 60%. So they're like, hey, we'll take that. And we get to keep our money. Because see, a company wants to keep their money. Revenue costs have to be low. Revenue high, cost low. That's basically what they're doing. And they're figuring out ways. So I was just real fascinated. I fell down the Snapchat hole today going, let me figure out how we're going to do this business-wise, not the blogger, gossip, entertainment, which is cool. That's an industry. Or the celebrity part of it. How do we get in as the business owners, the brand part of it? So I was fascinated with that. Okay, so that's Snapchat. Any more about Snapchat before we move on? No? Okay. All right, so let's look at Meta. So Meta, because I talked about them. So Meta is shutting down Messenger standalone website. Did you know that you could go into messenger.com and see all your messages without going to Facebook or without using the app? Okay, good. So they're shutting it down, the website part of it. So in April 2026, the website will no longer be available. If users still want to send and receive messages on the web, they have to go into Facebook. And you're thinking, well, wasn't they going to Facebook? No, because people have dropped the Facebook, but they still want to use Messenger for whatever reason. Maybe they have, chats with friends or family or whatever. So they were going to messenger.com, bypassing Facebook altogether. Now Meta's like, no, you can't do that anymore. So they won't be able to do that unless they go to Messenger, the mobile app, or Facebook. And the thing is, a lot of people do not use Facebook or don't want to. So there was a big complaint. People with the social media saying, listen, we don't want to go to Facebook website. We don't want to go to Facebook mobile app. We don't want to go to Meta app. We don't have that. We want to use the website. But Meta's like, nope, sorry, it's going away. So those people are unhappy. But here you go. They're like, we're getting rid of it.
But that's interesting, being that now younger people do use Facebook for Facebook Marketplace.
The marketplace,
but
right.
they don't use it for the other features.
Right.
It's not a platform for them besides Marketplace. So
Right.
it skews older, and there are lots of older people who are using their laptops or desktops to access Facebook. So
Right.
I find it interesting that they're discontinuing that feature.
Well, here's an idea that I have. Like, okay, Meta wants to drive subscriptions. They can't really drive subscriptions if you're going to messenger.com. So if you're using Messenger and you're not on one of the apps, you're gonna have to get the app now. Or you're gonna have to just drop all of those people that you were having conversations with on a daily basis, or however they were doing it. They were circumventing Facebook, and Meta was like, no, we can't have that because we need you in Facebook world.
Well, that's their own fault for fragmenting the audience in the first place with all these 10 million stupid applications. You did that. And
yeah,
because
they took Messenger out, put it back in, and all kind of crazy. Then it was this and that and that. Who Meta? Okay, so now they gotten rid of Messenger.com, and the people that were using it outside of Facebook are upset, but nothing to be done. It's going April. So April 2026 is they're going to take it down, and you're gonna have to figure out what you want to do. All right, so let's talk about Google. Yeah, let's talk about Google. Google, because Fran brought this one up. I'm just making sure I got all my stories before I move on. Okay, Google is adding music generation capabilities to the Gemini app. Right, so they're adding music generation feature to the Gemini app. They're using DeepMind's Lyra 3 music generation model to power this feature, which is still in beta. So to use the feature, you describe the song you want to create, and the app will generate a track along with the lyrics. So it will, you could ask it, what you want, the song you want to make. The app will generate a 30-second track along with cover art made by Nano Banana. Google says you can even upload a photo or video, and the tool will create a song to match the mood of the file that you uploaded.
But it's only 30 seconds.
Right.
That's not a song.
Right. Because they're not calling it make a song. They're saying music generation feature.
Whatever.
See how they get you? It's not a song. Music generation capabilities. So if you need a 30-second intro for whatever, that's your thing. So Google is making this model available to YouTube creators through the Dream Track feature on YouTube. So the Dream Track feature is a tool that helps creators make AI generated tracks. The option was only available to YouTube creators in the US until now, but they're expanding it globally. And Google says you can't mimic an artist outright, but if you add an artist name to your prompt, Gemini will create a track in a similar style or mood.
Okay, see, now that right there is a problem.
Right, that is a problem.
Yeah, because Suno won't do it. They're like, no, you can't. We are not making nothing, and nobody else is
Right. So Google is saying that all the songs created with the Lyra 3 model will have a Sense ID watermark to identify AI generated content. That means it's in the code. The company says that it's also adding capabilities to identify AI generated music with Sense ID within Gemini. Users will be able to upload tracks and ask Gemini if it's AI generated. So this music generation feature is rolling out to Gemini users across the world with support for English, German, Spanish, French, Hindi, Japanese, Korean, and Portuguese. So it's not songs, it's a 30-second clip.
So
Now,
okay, because like when on Suno, if I created, I can create I've created songs.
yeah, a song.
Right?
Yes, a whole
And
song.
I've uploaded them to Apple Music.
Right.
I've uploaded them to their Spotify, Apple, different places. I can go into Reels and find the one that I created and use that.
And
You know,
use
you can go get clips of music that they have available on Reels or wherever.
Yes.
I can go and find that and get a clip. Okay. So I can, but now YouTube is making it where you can use the clip you created within YouTube for.
Yes. So it's 30 seconds. They may expand it in the future, but right now they're not saying create songs, they're saying create music.
Mm-hmm.
They're not saying make a song, they're saying make music. So all of their I always look at the copy just from being an advertiser, that they have to say things in a certain way. So they say create music. It didn't say make a song. They create music.
Yeah.
So Google's very careful about that. You can make music. 30 seconds of a track is music. It's not a song. So they put it in. Now they may expand that to make a song because YouTube creators need music in their videos. So this might be the way for them to do it. We'll see. So, but it's a music generating feature within Gemini. So this is what Google is doing. So, but if you, like you said, France, if you need a song, you go someplace else for the song, for the entire song. So one more thing from Google. So YouTube is adding a conversational AI tool to their TV app. This is an experimental feature. Previously was limited to mobile devices on the web, so they're bringing conversational AI to the TV in the home, allowing users to ask questions about content without leaving the video that they're watching. So this is what YouTube says, that eligible users can click the Ask button on their TV screen to summon the AI assistant. The feature offers suggested questions based on the video, or users can use their remote microphone button to ask anything related to the video. So they're saying, for instance, if you're watching a video about making a recipe, you can ask about recipe ingredients, or you can ask about the song that they're using in the video, the lyrics, what song is that, what lyrics, and you will receive instant answers without pausing or leaving the app. So
well,
right now,
Shazam!
Right. So this feature now is used a select group of users over 18, supports English, Hindi, Spanish, Portuguese, and Korean. So they're testing this experimental feature because YouTube knows that they get a lot of views from the TV app. So you might want to have that where your TV, you have a newer TV where you can have a conversation with. I know Google TV you can do a whole bunch of stuff with. So why not? I'm watching a video on how to make bread, and what did they put in? And you could say, hey, what was that ingredient, or what song is that, or what ingredient, or what brand of flour?
Okay, so if you miss something, you can sort of have it rewind a little bit. Okay.
Well, not rewind. It says it does it right when you're watching the video. You don't have to pause it or anything.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting from this. And remember, this is something they're experimenting with, so it's not like
so basically they just put A.
Yes.
No, A belongs to Amazon.
S.
No, G. They just put G in your house.
I
and
see.
bypassed your, because I have the my digital assistant is S, but they just put G in the house in
Yeah.
the TV.
Through the TV, through the YouTube app. So because it says receive instant answers without pausing or leaving the app. So you don't have to pause the video. You don't have to do anything. You just start talking to it. Like
But what I'm, so they just brought that device in via the TV. Do you know what I
right. Because
mean?
they're saying that there is you use your remote microphone button
Mhm.
on the, because you have the remote. So
Interesting.
there you go. So that's what Google's up to. All right, the last thing is OpenAI. So ChatGPT rolls out ads to users. So there's a big wham about this. So they've rolled out testing advertisements inside ChatGPT in the US. So the rollout affects those with free tier plans and the new lower cost ChatGPT Go plan. People on paid tiers such as Plus, Pro, Business, and Enterprise will remain free of ads. So so they've rolled that out. And I think I might log out and see how that works. I'm just curious about it.
Because see, one of the ads is upgrade your device to blah 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 blah. So I'm like, and
yeah,
you know,
so
you have 3 answers.
you gotta drive them to the page. You got that. The subscriptions is where it's at for all of these platforms. Gotta get them subscribed, and you gotta do ads. So the last thing from OpenAI. So U.S. court has barred OpenAI from using Cameo. So a federal district court in Northern California ruled in favor of Cameo, which is a platform that allows users to get personalized video messages from celebrities. They told OpenAI to stop using Cameo in its products and features. So OpenAI was using Cameo name for its AI-powered video generation app, Sora 2. Users could use that feature to insert digital likenesses of themselves into AI video. So they were calling that Cameo. But Cameo, the platform, the app that's been out since I think the pandemic, said, "Oh, wait a minute, you can't use that. You can't use that Cameo because we've trademarked it, branded for our service."
So they have to rename the term. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they're
Rename
saying
whatever
that.
it is.
Well, they're saying that they can't use the word Cameo.
Yes,
Okay.
they have to rename it.
So back in November, there was a temporary restraining order. It stopped OpenAI from using the words. So OpenAI renamed the feature to characters. So they haven't been using it since November, but this is like the final ruling that says OpenAI cannot use the word Cameo in their Sora 2 app. It's called characters. So that's a final thing. So Cameo won that round.
Why would they even?
Because they can.
Yeah, but it costs them money now to do that. That was a tremendous waste of resources. And I'm going to be looking at you, OpenAI, when things start glitching because you chose to spend money on a lawsuit that you knew good and darn
See,
well.
here's the thing: it fell through the cracks somewhere with somebody like, "Oh, let's call it Cameo." Didn't even think to go, "Well, let's do a simple trademark search."
That would have saved them.
Simple trademark search would have caught this. And somebody with experience in the legal thing would have been like, "You can't use that. Pull it." But they went with it. So now, like you said, like Dr. Tati said, it costs them money. Oh, well.
Say la vie.
There you go. And that is social media news and updates for the week. There.
All righty, Daddy. Here we go.
Okay, so we've got some media news for you. I'm going to save the story that everybody's talking about till close to the end because I'd love to get your thoughts on this. But let's start with, this is interesting. I wanted to start with some things that are kind of tech related since we, are there. So hold on a minute. What happened to the story that did I Did I click it off by mistake? I think I may have. But let's start with this first one. The fact that Perplexity, do any of you use Perplexity?
I do.
Okay.
I use it.
Well, they are joining the anti-ad camp now because
Okay.
there's the whole thing with AI companies adding ads or putting
Mhm.
ads on
Right. And
services,
yeah.
etc. Well, they're bad. They're distancing themselves from ads now because what their fear is that users will not trust chatbots that have an agenda to upsell. So
Right.
if you are there with an agenda, I'm probably not going to trust you. And this is why they are backing away from ads
Right.
on the platform now. So I thought that was interesting, and I wanted to mention that in case you all didn't know that Perplexity is backing away from ads as you have Chat GPT, jumping headfirst in the shallow end toward
Right.
ads.
With the free
Perplexity
people.
is-
Yes. With the free
Exactly.
users.
And here's the thing, it is a very slippery slope because I do agree that I'm probably less likely to trust you if there's an agenda to sell me something there.
Mm.
At the same time, I also do understand how difficult a subscription model is in terms of monetization. There's
Right.
constant churn. You are
Yep.
constantly having to reel people back in with specials and all of it. It's a lot of work
Mhm.
when you depend
Mhm.
on subscription only. So I see where the impetus for sponsorships and ads comes from because these people are coming to you saying, hey, I want to be on your platform, right?
Right.
So, and you've got them locked in for a certain number of years or whatever your agreement is. That's an easier way to make money than begging somebody to, do you value this? Well, here, subscribe.
They have to constantly sell the subscription.
It's a lot of work. So it's a catch-22 with this. At the end of the day, though, if you don't have users that trust your platform, it doesn't matter how many advertisers you have.
True.
So they're going to have to find a delicate balance between monetization, because here's the thing, I think a lot of people expect for AI to be free now because so many of the platforms started off free, right? And then it's
Yes.
like, okay, now we have a freemium option and now we have a subscription option. So I
Right.
know it's to draw people in, but you set an expectation of free when you do things like that. You'll always have the people that will pay for it. Listen, the sole reason I have a paid ChatGPT account is because, God bless Gary, my friend, and I've been working with him for now. This is year 9. I've been working with him, and he's like, "Do you use ChatGPT?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. I use it for you to help when I'm posting things." He's like, "You want a subscription?" Will I say no?
Yeah.
Yes, I would like a subscription.
Yeah.
So he gets me a subscription every month to that. So I'm so thankful for that. But on my own,
it's really a useful business tool, and I love the discussion we're having about the free users versus the paid, because the free users aren't there. Some of them may be doing business stuff, but they quickly find out it doesn't. I'm going to hit a wall of limits, and I really need to go beyond. So I'm a business. I'm going to budget to $20 versus the free user just there to do crazy, stupid stuff. The dumb stuff that they do, so they're not going to ever pay. So
exactly.
You get the ads, and if you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Exactly. So they're going to have to find a delicate balance. But I thought that this was interesting in the age where everybody's rushing toward advertising.
It's a brand position. It's a brand position.
Yeah.
Where Perplexity saw the backlash from the free users, because that was the free users about the ads. Well, Perplexity saying, "Come on over here. We're the anti-ad people." It's a brand position.
It is a huge brand position.
Yeah,
but
come on
what's
over
going
here.
to have to happen is now they have got to be the everything of AI to everyone.
That's
So
the
you
thing.
know when you have the differences in the so people are like, okay, use Claude for research. Chat GPT is not that you can't use them for all things, but they work better. They each one has a niche. So
Yeah.
now if you are on the, you know what, guess what? Come over here because we don't have ads. But now you put yourself in the position of I have to
You
be
can't
the
ever get ads.
everything.
Right. I can't do ads now.
Exactly.
You build yourself as the anti-ad. So that's a hill you're gonna have to stand on.
The anti-ad, and now I have to do everything. I have to do research well. I have to
Yeah.
create images well. I have
Yes.
to create voices well because I've gotten to everybody over here. But I have to have a reason for them to stay. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't do that, but it is certainly a slight pivot, or at least a little turn to the left when you do have to now improve some of the things you've done. So it is what it is. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so
Wow.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said, wow. Interesting when we make promises.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's talk a little bit since this is crossing over into what we talked about and AI.
AI.
Longtime NPR host David Green has sued Google over Notebook LM using his voice, supposedly. Okay, so if you don't know who David Green is, maybe you know Morning Edition, and that's the NPR news show. If I'm in the car, I'll listen to it in the morning.
That the morning? They do the morning rundown and they have different people, and then they start out with a jokey kind of. Like they say jokey, funny things, and then they go into the news of the day. I'm trying to remember.
Well, Morning Edition is more straight news. I think they do have some other things, but it's like, welcome to Morning Edition. Yeah, exactly. So it's the host is David Green. So you'll probably know if you know more.
So they used his voice, you're saying?
So what happened is he's suing Google, and he's alleging that the male voice in the company's Notebook LM2, because Notebook LM, you can actually create
make audio. Yeah, you can make audio podcast files, and it's a woman and a woman and a male voice, and you cannot change the voices. That's what I didn't like. I was like, I want to change it to my voice.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use those voices.
That voice,
but
that one voice.
They're going to charge you probably to change the voice.
To do that,
at
a future, down the road.
That's going to come. Even if they say no, we know you. So you can use. You don't have a choice. You can set your basically write whatever you write in Notebook LM. They can have these two characters can have a conversation about that in podcast style. So what happened is after his friends and family members and coworkers kept emailing him about the resemblance to his voice, he got convinced that the voice was replicating his cadence, the intonation, and even his use of filler words like So that's kind of a key thing. If you notice, it's one thing there are people that sound alike, yes, but cadences are all different. Filler words are all different. So this is what makes him think that. So Green currently also hosts a show on KCRW called Left, Right, and Center. I'm guessing that's a political show. I've never heard of it. Probably so. He said, quote, "My voice is like the most important part of who I am." So I guess this is not something that he wants. So I don't know what's happening with the lawsuit now, but he is suing Google for that. So this case, though, could actually set some precedent when it comes to law and AI or regulation and AI, because obviously we've had before, there's the whole thing when it comes to the actor SAG-AFTRA and the actors strike. There's a lot when it comes to music, right? So something like this, though, is different in a sense. It's not that, like in the other cases, people are alleging you use my music to train AI models, right? Because you ripped it from the web or wherever you ripped it from, and you're training AI models. This man is saying this is actually my voice.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different. So I'm interested to see where this goes. And this could set precedent in terms of that if he ends up winning. I'm wondering if more than likely they will settle with him rather than going through the whole court case. We'll see.
That makes sense to settle out of court, get it over.
Exactly. And get it out of the way.
Yes.
So interesting. But let me ask you all this. What do you think about, and both, I know TJ, you have used AI to replicate your voice. What do you feel about your voice being used for other things besides what you deem it used for?
Well, I would want to, first of all, where's the money?
Okay.
Okay. And what are you using it? I don't want it to be like it's a Nazi video, what, something hate or bully or this. Those are the two things. Otherwise, I don't have a problem with it. As long as I'm getting paid for it adequately and you're not using it for free, then we got a problem. Then we have a problem. So, but you know what? I think what they're going to do here is pay this guy unless he wants them to take it down. Like if he wants them to take it down, like I don't want your money, Google, just take it down, then that's the thing. But if he's not, okay, you can use it, but where's my compensation, which was the deal with the authors and OpenAI, all of the writers. It was just simply about the copyright issue and how much am I going to pay. It's already out there. So that's the deal. Like, what is he asking for? And what is he asking for? Like to take it down completely? Like you cannot use my voice at all, or where's my compensation?
At this point, I don't know what he's asking for. It's not clear what he's asking for.
Right. That's what I would want to know.
That's what I want to know as well.
Yeah.
And the way he handles this also sets the precedent for other voices and other voice actors, right? And
but we went through this with the actress. What is her name? Married to the guy from SNL, Scarlett Johansson. They used her voice for something in an advertised something. They used her voice for, and they weren't supposed to use it or it sound. I think this was OpenAI that did that. Something about her voice they used that was close to her voice, but I don't remember what happened with that.
And they probably trained the models using that was one of the voices,
right? And I bring that up to say, like, this isn't the end. Like they're going to be using people's voices. So
absolutely.
How do we get around that?
Well, see, here's the thing. I think it was also asinine and stupid for them to use his voice because he's a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Oh, nobody's gonna know.
Yeah, my thing is like when you're using people who are popular, like he's a member. I would be very surprised if he is not a member of SAG-AFTRA. Very surprised because that covers voice people as well, and personalities as well. So when you do things like that, you have a very strong union that has rules, and this is something that they are fighting right now. So am I frozen? No. Okay.
No, we're good. So just I did a real quick Google on the Scarlett Johansson. So it is she says OpenAI trained on her. It sounds similar to her voice, this voice assistant Sky, and they used it without her permission. Because Sam Altman had asked her to voice the assistant, but she said no, and they went ahead and made something that sounded like her.
Okay,
but I'm not sure where it is now as far as legal stuff.
I'm going to follow that and see, because that right there is intent. They came and asked you.
This was 2024. This came out.
In 2024. So you have shown and proven we want you for this voice. So that was already out there that we want to use Scarlett Johansson's voice. She said no. Well, we like the voice, so we're just going to go ahead and train AI. You can't do that, sir, madam. Especially after now you lost in court. You lost because now you've shown that you wanted this voice because you approached her in the first place.
Right. They asked her. Now, it's a different thing if they didn't, but they asked, she said no, and they were like, okay, well, we'll make something similar. But I think they haven't used the voice since that. I'm not sure if she sued them, or I'm trying to figure out where it went. But I remember that story that she was like,
But they just flagrant disregard and just
Flagrant
okay,
disregard.
think about I remember this way back when people were doing the graphic images, like, you know, you can't, people would go search Google and find an image and save it, but it was a photograph that was copyrighted, or you don't have the rights to, you know, all rights reserved, but people were screenshotting and using it anyway in blogs and social media, and all the lawyers were saying you can't do that because you're going to cease and desist and whatever, but people still do it. So they're going to do that with voice.
Now, here is the thing. It depends on what capacity you're using it in.
Right.
Let me just say, I am not an attorney. I am not a lawyer. I did used to teach media regulation, but that does not make me an attorney. But I will say this. When it comes to things like fair use, lots of people will claim fair use.
Yeah, they throw that all into YouTube. Oh, fair use.
But it is not fair use just to simply use a song or simply use a clip from a television show.
Right.
If you're just doing it.
Right. Those things are copyrighted. Yeah, they belong to the owner. They don't belong to you.
It doesn't belong to you. And with fair use, it depends on how much of the work you use and in what aspect you're using it. So, for example, here we show different things, different videos, and it is for commentary purposes. That is fair use, where you're using a piece of a work in order to comment
on it.
You're
talking about it, you're making commentary on it. So I have to show you the article, but I'm making commentary.
Correct.
And I'm also saying this is the art, like is Digiday, the article, there's a link. If we show it on the screen, you get to see the author, you get to see the rights, you get to see all of that. We're not claiming that we wrote that, we're talking about it.
Exactly. That is fair use. To be a DJ, for example, and do a whole set and then claim fair use. No, that's not fair use.
You have to pay for that, bro.
You do have to pay for it. That's why they have licenses.
ASCAP.
ASCAP, and there's one other one that begins with a B. I can't remember.
Yeah,
There are 3 in terms of licensing music in order to pay for it. At one point, Indie Soup, we had a CSAC license, but I'm like, we don't have anybody that's playing music on a regular basis, so I'm not going to continue to pay for it. But, you know, you can't just claim fair use. So, and it's even less of a case of fair use if you were going to buy it in the first place, and then because the person said, I'm not interested in selling it, you go and make your own Frankenstein version of whatever it is. That's not fair use. So
Frankenstein version.
Well, whatever, or MacGyvered it together with paper clips and matches.
So,
whatever befalls you, it's your own fault.
But see, this is how YouTube came up. YouTube made the whole music library of royalty free, free to use music, because they were running into copyright strike with people using other, you know, music that's copyrighted by artists. So it's like YouTube was like, hey, we're gonna give y'all a whole library of music, please use that.
It still doesn't work because you still have people trying to, especially on Instagram. And the next time, it drives me batty to see I do not own the rights to this music, and so we know that by you saying that, because more confirmation that you're using it without permission. You're
not the artist, so we already know you don't have right. You're not the artist.
And it irks me because I'm like, see, this is why you can't do things for people, because they're not going to follow directions anyway. Twice. I had an attorney, a copyright, trademark, and patent attorney on Be More to talk about this. And I said, I'm going to put it up. In fact, you know what I need to do? I need to go through and pin it on I think it's on Instagram, and pin it so that people can see it.
And then they get surprised when they get hit with a cease and desist or this or that or fines or whatever.
Like, oh no, their favorite thing to say is always like, well, how come such and such? You're not such and such. And you don't know what agreement these individuals have.
They paid for,
they paid for these things. You know, you'll see people try and, for example, D Nice can play music on Instagram and there are no problems. Well, my thing is, you don't know what agreement he has with Instagram to be able to
Right.
do this, and has had since the pandemic.
Right.
So for somebody to say, well, D Nice, you are not D Nice,
You're not
dear
D-nice.
one.
You're not.
Beloved, you are
nice,
not
buddy.
D Nice. So you can't
You don't know
use
what kind of connection he has. He's been in the industry for a long time. You don't know what kind
exactly.
of connections he has in the music industry. You don't know what's going on.
And the thing is, because he's in the industry and he understands the way royalties, etc., works,
Yeah.
he would not do things in an illegal manner, right?
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or you go to a platform that will allow you to do those things. Twitch is one of the platforms that a lot of the DJs bounced to once they started getting dinged on Instagram. So they have agreements where that will allow them, the DJs, to play music.
Right.
So
Right. So
that's the thing
educate
there.
yourself.
So that's what's happening with David Green and Google and Notebook LM. As I get more information, I will let you know. And I will find out also about the Scarlett Johansson thing. I'll be watching both because I'm interested in
Yeah.
both
It's
of
been a
them.
while. Yeah, but I remember it was a big deal because she's Scarlett Johansson, so it was like a big story.
Yes.
She's Scarlett Johansson. So let's talk a little bit about Netflix. Did you know that non-English content makes up more than half of Netflix's TV originals?
Really?
I had no idea.
Really?
Yes, this is a first. So movies are more English focused. So most of the movies on Netflix are English focused, but non-English titles account for 44% of their original TV releases. And this is actually according to a new study from Ampere Analysis. Excuse me. So it highlights the role that international markets are playing in programming over at Netflix. And this also informs their strategies toward new content, obviously, when you see that. So data shows that in 2025, 52% of Netflix's original TV season releases were non-English language. So that's over half, right?
Yes.
And this is the first time that non-English language TV originals made up more than half of all TV originals on Netflix. And this represents the highest yearly share to date, up from 49% in 2024. Very interesting. But as I said,
I watch a lot of foreign films because I just do the closed caption thing. So yeah, I can understand it because first of all, you run out of content.
Yeah.
In your
English. Yeah.
Well, in your genre, the one like I like a lot of mysteries.
Mm.
So, there's only so much content for that.
There's only so much whodunit that exists. So
Exactly.
you have
to go somewhere else.
You have to go somewhere else. And what I found is lately, and there's a Netflix thing we'll be talking about in just a moment. Lately, I have been watching lots of Korean content. And so as you consume content, the algorithm picks up the things you like and suggests more of it to you. So it makes sense that they're watching not just things like this study, but also what people are doing and what they're watching on Netflix. And they will acquire more of those things. So yeah, I find that fascinating. So here are some other key findings. Get ready for this. Spanish is the leading non-English language for Netflix original TV releases. That's 21% of new original TV seasons in 2025. They were done in Spanish. So genre, though, the genre shifted a little bit. Scripted content rose from 63% of Spanish language titles in 2024 to 86% in 2025. Comedy had the fastest growth, increasing 6% from 6% in 2024 to 19% in 2025. So this is Spanish. This is all in Spanish. Korean and Japanese saw some of the most notable year-on-year changes. Korean language originals gained the most ground, rising from 12% of non-English original TV releases in 2024 to 20% in 2025. Now, we could probably guess what led to the Korean and Japanese bump, right?
K-pop.
K-pop. What else?
What
Squid
else?
Game.
Oh yes, I forgot all of because I didn't watch Squid Game, so
I didn't either. I was not interested in seeing
wasn't
people
interested in
dragged
it.
off.
but it was such a big thing, and now I'm like, I don't hear anything about it. Didn't they do
Because
like
it's
a 1
done.
and 2 and a 3 or something?
No,
don't know.
Squid Game, the original Squid Game is done. They had Squid Game, the actual competition series.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened or what's happening with
It's just
that.
that it was everywhere, and now it's nowhere. Like,
Things have their season, you know, not to pun
and
intended.
it's like, I'm just saying seriously that I'm thinking of it going. It was such a big thing. Was it pandemic time or something? This came out, and now it's like Squid Games. Like, and you're right. Things have a season, and they're just gone. Like,
But it did foster an interest in Korean content and Asian
Yes.
content in general.
yes,
So that
Yeah.
Squid Game was the bump for that. Not that Koreans and Japanese, they watched their content already.
yes.
But Squid Game introduced it to American audiences
New
and
eyes.
worldwide audiences.
Yeah.
So I think this is where the thing is. So when I open, I'm like, oh, there's one, my sister's, because, you know, she lives in Asia. She was like, there's one called King the Land. So I've been watching King the Land. There's
King
another
the land.
King the Land.
Okay,
Mhm.
I gotta watch it. Let me look that one up.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And then I forgot the name of the other one I was watching that I've been watching. So yeah, there's some. I've been getting into these Korean. I would call them dramedies because they're not like comedy. I mean, not dramas per se, but there are some great Korean dramas as well. And then of course, you know, the what's the name of it with the theme song Golden, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
That really popularized things as well. It won a Grammy for the song Golden. And yeah, so that's where we are with that. Okay.
Huh.
So the story
King
there
of the
is
Land
that-
looks interesting, but go ahead.
yeah, King the Land is it's very interesting. Check it out if you're into it. And I'll
Yeah,
give
I'm
you the name of the other one. I just can't remember it right now.
I'm sure
No.
the algorithm will take care of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so moving on, let's talk
Okay.
about Roblox a little bit.
Okay.
Did you know, and I don't know, Teralina, if your granddaughter knows about this, maybe doesn't care, but the Salvation Army has opened the world's first digital thrift store on Roblox. And this is where players can get pre-loved inspired finds. So thrifting is a huge thing, as we know. You know, I'm a huge thrifter because not only do I love thrift shopping, but I'm a reseller as well on
Okay.
Poshmark. So
Mhm.
part of what I do is thrift. So I find this really interesting that Salvation Army has now stepped into this world with and the launch is called the thing is called Thrift Score. So it is the first, as I said, digital thrift store on Roblox, and they're bringing secondhand style into one of the internet's most popular gaming platforms. There are lots of brands that are in Roblox, but I never figured that. I mean, I should have, with the popularity of Depop, which, by the way, which is a platform for buying secondhand clothing, but most of the people that are sellers and use it are under the age of 34. So it skews really young. It's like Gen Z and under. I on Depop, but I like never really, like if I have things that are more kind of teeny bopperish, I may put it on Depop, but their shipping is confusing to me, so I just don't bother. But by the way, Depop has just been purchased. They were owned by Etsy, but they are being acquired by eBay for $1.2 billion.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that lets you know there's money in secondhand. So it makes sense that Salvation Army would be winding their digital way, pixelated way into Roblox.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about the experience. It went live yesterday. And what it does is it reimagines a Salvation Army thrift store. It's a fully explorable space inside Roblox. And they did it in collaboration with immersive game studio The Gang. And they're trying to, the purpose of the project is to introduce the Salvation Army brand to Gen Z and Gen Alpha, who already spend time shopping, socializing, and customizing avatars within the platform. So I guess it's like, wow, well, if you do this here, you might come into a Salvation Army in real life and buy. And that's helpful because obviously the Salvation Army is a charity. So interesting. So if you're in Roblox, excuse me, and you like secondhand, check out the Salvation Army thrift score. You might score something cool. All right. I have a few more things to talk about. Toy Story 5 is coming out and there is a trailer, but fans are really up in arms over the fact that Woody, who's a cowboy, has a bald spot.
Oh, wow. So they aged them?
Apparently so. So in the first full trailer for Toy Story, people were not expecting that he had a bald patch, and apparently it has stolen the spotlight. Now this was just released yesterday. It gives you the trailer. Now I haven't watched it yet, but the trailer is supposed to give you a clear look at the 5th installment in the series, and it's supposed to come into theaters June 19th of this year. It reunites Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Jesse, and the rest of the gang as they, quote, grapple with a new kind of rival, a frog-shaped educational tablet named LilyPad. So that device is supposed to really represent the growing pull of screen-based entertainment on children. And it depicts the film's central tension between traditional toys and digital distractions. So there's a message there, but people can't get past the damn bald spots. So the funny thing is, it's obvious it's animation and he's a toy. Right. So basically what that's supposed to be is that the paint, his head is
worn off.
It's worn off. It appears thinner, but the
show age,
labeled this as a bald spot.
It's to show it. He's an old toy. That was the whole first Toy Story. He was an old toy. That's why Buzz Lightyear came in, because
exactly. Exactly. But I think the fact that it's a bald spot, it kind of signifies, like fans were joking on TikTok and X about Woody being a middle-aged.
The heartwarming story, a Toy Story, and you guys go, oh, the bald spot.
No, but because we don't know how to act. This is why we can't have nice things.
And they're probably going to tell us how he got the bald spot.
Yeah, it's an old toy. Think about the fact of toys that you may have had that were older.
They rub the thing, the paint rubs off. The more you play with it.
Let me tell you one of my favorite toys that I had. The McDonald's, indoctrination of children, probably. But I had the McDonald's and it had the trays. And after a while of putting the trays through and stuff, the sticker with the food gets worn.
Yeah, because you played with it. You touched it. You play with it.
Right, and that's what you're supposed to do with toys. They are supposed to be well loved.
See, there's a lot of people that buy the collectibles and leave them in the box as this is going to get. No, you're supposed to use the toy, not sit in a box.
My thing is like then buy 2 of them.
Yes.
Buy one that you can say that
a collectible,
and another one to play with, because that's what they're for. They're to spark the imagination of, well, children and adults. I think this is why I became if I do say so myself, such an adept storyteller, where I was writing like full-on scripts and stuff by 5th grade, because not only I read so much, but I played a lot, and we pretend an awful lot. Because we're from the age of don't open the door for anybody, but you were home by yourself. So you play, right? It
Mhm.
wasn't always just watching TV, although most of the time it was. But that's what's happening. People are not focused on the story. They're like calling that spot a bald spot. Why they chose there, I don't know. Probably double entendre, but it is what it is. So it's coming out in June. Is it? Wait, is it June? Did I say June?
Yes, you said June. You said
Okay,
June.
yes. So it's coming out in June for those who are interested.
Yeah, that makes sense because kids are out of school, and then it's the
The
beginning
summer.
of summer, and
Mhm.
Yes.
Exactly. So let me talk to you about. You all heard about the Stephen Colbert and James
Yes.
Tellerico. Okay.
Mhm.
So there was a rift. CBS did not want him to interview James Tellerico on air. Okay,
Yes.
that's fine. But see, this is how stupid. I'm like, you all really can't be this daft. And it lets me know that the people who are in charge are mediocre at best. And you were not supposed to be in charge. This is proof of it. So he did the interview.
Mhm.
And it drew 85 million views across YouTube and social. So it wasn't
Yes.
on CBS, but guess what? It's on YouTube and social. So the more you push people away, the more they go to your competition, which is YouTube now. It is YouTube, in case you didn't know.
Mhm.
YouTube for the win, always.
YouTube for the win.
YouTube
So,
for the win. You want
yes.
to watch Bad Bunny? It's on YouTube.
On
I think got
YouTube.
like 100 million, 200 million, something streams in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
So, but YouTube,
Exactly. YouTube.
There you go.
they weren't expecting that. See, Stephen Colbert said, wait a minute. That YouTube channel is mine. CBS don't own that.
But we knew what was going to happen when it came to Jimmy Kimmel and him being stopped. He said,
There
that's
you go.
fine. I'll
See,
just go to YouTube.
like you said, they're not. These are old fat cat, old guys. They ain't thinking about social media and YouTube. Look at I would love to talk about like Roland Martin and Don Lemon, the rise of independent journalists, and Joy Reid and people like that. They have been kicked out of mainstream media, and now they are flourishing. Substack and YouTube. Flourishing.
Exactly. So on YouTube, Colbert's own page has accounted for 39% of views related to the interview. On TikTok, the show really leaned into promotion. The share hit 53%. So Stephen Colbert voiced objections to what he says was pressure by CBS lawyers not to air the interview with Tellerico, who's running in the Democratic Senate primary in Texas. Right. Network lawyers later insisted that they had not told Colbert he couldn't air the segment. Listen now.
Somebody not telling the truth.
Somebody is not telling the truth, and we know probably who it is because it follows the same patterns. This is why.
Do I trust Stephen? Or do I trust CBS?
Why would he bungle his own interview?
Thank you.
It takes forever to get interviews with people. Why would you bungle it? No. So the thing is, you think we're stupid. And the thing is also, I don't think that they were preemptively doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that the administration said
they were trying to get ahead. We'll get ahead of it because he's going to XYZ. Well, you don't know what he's going to XYZ, but you're so. Let's not disturb the toddler because they're going to throw a tantrum.
And nobody asked you to do that. So you are just making the case for independent media to exist because you all cannot.
I love it. Keep it coming.
I love it too.
Keep it coming.
I haven't trusted you all for a long time. And guess what?
The last time I watched the news.
Yes. The American public doesn't trust you either.
Things pop up on my phone and I get the stories. I don't have to watch your news. I don't have to watch you. I don't watch you. Because things come to me.
Yeah, okay? And this doesn't mean that there are not some credible stories that come out of there. But best believe I check, and double check even before the extreme trust problem. They've always had a trust problem because every network, every station has a news agenda.
Right.
And slant to how they report.
they're still stuck in. I remember as a kid, you watch the news at 6 and 11, like the news hours, like that's when. But we don't live with it. CNN came. We have news all the time. The internet came. We got news instantly. I don't have to wait until your news show to get the news. I know the news before you do.
Exactly. One of my favorite news people is a Gen Zer. His name is Aaron Parnas. He's with
Yes, I follow him on Threads. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so he's got several times a day where he says breaking news.
Yeah.
And he talks about so this is before your 6 o'clock broadcast. Forget you.
But it's old. It's old news by the time you get to your talking head journalist at whatever time the news is. Because we're not tuning in. Older folks may still go, oh, the news comes on at 7 or 8 or 6 or whatever and 11. Nobody else is doing that because we all got phones. We're all holding our phones and the things pop up. Like you said, I go to Threads. He's the first thing I see.
Yes. As soon as I open,
that I like him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what's happening there. We have just a few more stories. Want to let you know that YouTube star Mr. Beast has purchased youth-focused financial services app Step. So basically, he bought a bank.
Okay.
So his company is called Beast Industries. They acquired Step so that they could expand into youth-focused financial services. That's where money is, okay? So they didn't disclose the amount that they acquired Step for. And by the way, Step has major backers like Stripe.
Okay.
So now this is important because it's extending Mr. Beast beyond media and beyond the consumer products. Right. He's a whole brand. He's now in fintech, which is huge. Right. So, by the way, for those of you who don't know, his name is Jimmy Donaldson. Mr. Beast's name is. And so what is Step? It's an all-in-one money app for teens and young adults to manage money, build credit, and access financial tools. So it's going to operate under the umbrella of Beast Industries. Okay. And Mr. Beast says this: nobody taught me about investing, building credit, or managing money when I was growing up. That's exactly why we are joining forces with Step. I want to give millions of young people the financial foundation I never had. Lots to share soon. So I think that's actually really cool. I think
like that idea. He just an opening, a niche, a market, and he's providing it. Whereas you would think, why wouldn't Chase or any of the, because they're not thinking about that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Now, to talk about Step a little bit, they have over 7 million users. So that is quite a segment of the market.
Audience. Yeah.
Yes. And then looking at this market, that's brilliant to give this segment of the population something you didn't have at their age. I think this is brilliant. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it. And here's the thing. It's going to be even more. Why? Because people love a Mr. Beast. They identify with Mr. Beast. If this is something else he does, they're going to be on board with it.
He's a brand with a certain generation. So there's name recognition there. He's building a brand. I'm not mad at him.
I'm not mad at all.
I'm not mad. Do you? Do it.
Do you now? All right. So let's talk about the final story. Have you watched the America's Next Top Model documentary?
I knew you was going to bring it. I have not watched it. I've seen clips of Miss J and the other two judges on social media.
Nigel and Jay Manuel.
Nigel, yes. I've seen clips. I've seen this back and forth. I've seen clips of them. I think they were on the Sherry Shepherd.
They were on Sherry Shepherd.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that. But all of these things, then I've seen clips of Tyra saying things, and then some of the other contestants have said things. I have not seen the documentary yet, but I will watch it.
Please watch it.
I will.
I don't know. Were you did you watch America's Next Top Model?
I
when it was
did.
on?
I didn't watch all the seasons. I didn't watch at the beginning. I probably watched when whatever something popular got popular, and then I started watching it. But I watched a few seasons. I know how the show goes.
I watched a few seasons too. I think I got bored after a while with
Yeah,
it
you
because-
kind of just drop. Yeah, I was like, okay, I don't want to watch this anymore. Just like with the Real Housewives, I watched the Atlanta, all of that, and then all of a sudden, I was just like, I'm just not interested anymore.
yeah, it's like meh.
Yeah, you just
Because after a while,
it gets
what else
repetitive.
can you add? It gets repetitive.
boring. It gets. I'm done.
Well, and this is why they were talking about in the documentary, the docu-series, because it's a 3-part series.
Oh, it's 3 parts. Okay.
3 parts.
Okay.
So this is why the challenges got increasingly more and more ridiculous and dangerous because you had to
yeah,
keep
it got
eyes.
stupid. It got stupid.
It got very
Because
stupid.
there's an element of hazing. Like if you've gone to college and you know the hazing not the hazing process, but the pledging process, and then all of the things that are, she kind of put that element in there, mixed it with modeling. And then at the beginning, it was interesting and like, oh, whatever. And then she started doing dumb, like you said, it got dumb and stupid, and they started doing dangerous things, and it was just like, why?
There was a complete lack of regard for the models on their
Yes.
part. And there's so many things that we're actually doing a conversation about this on Tuesday. So join us if you can.
I'll be
It's
there.
going to be good. So there are lots of things that were levied at
Mhm.
everybody, but particularly Tyra, because she's the face of the brand.
Wasn't it her idea? Didn't she say that it was her idea?
She did say it was her idea.
Okay, she's
She
the owner of
approached-
it.
They shopped this around,
Mhm.
and finally UPN, we used to call it the Underprivileged Negroes Network.
There's a lot of acronyms for the UPN, but we'll go
Exactly.
with that one.
So many.
Let's go
But
with
you know,
that one.
the interesting thing is why UPN was the only one that did that. UPN was that said yes. They were a smaller network.
Right.
They
They could take the risk.
could take the risk, but they also knew that Black content sells. And it wasn't just Black content,
Right.
but this was a Black person that was producing something. And her whole thing was to change the face of the way the modeling industry was viewed.
Right.
So we want people of all different ethnicities. We want people of different shapes and sizes, but did they really? And that's kind of what the documentary goes
That's a
into.
part of the illusion of the entertainment industry and TV and everything. It's like, okay, we say we're going to do this, we show you that, but you don't, it's the Wizard of the Oz behind the curtain. You don't really get to see, or we're going to show you behind the curtain. They don't really show you behind the curtain, because if they did, if you really knew what was happening, the manipulation of the images that you see, you would,
And this is interesting. Tyra took like no responsibility for anything.
but that's
that was
her.
done. That is her.
Heard, and this, we can go, I mean, way back. I've heard talk and gossip about her, and this is talking gossip, but there was a story about her having a Christmas party, and for the America's Next Top Model crew, and this and that, and how I think she gave them McDonald's hamburgers or something. This is way back.
I
They were
heard
talking about how she treated them, like the people that you work for that are building this thing with you. The disregard, it was the disregard that came out of it. Now I don't know how true it was or not, but it was just things like that stories like that were always out about her, even though there's the PR face of, oh, she's the Barbie and the top model and the so that kind of thing. It's a facade that they put on. So
it was just surprising. Now, I remember very well watching these things. I was living in DC at the time this came. And so I remember watching it. And for me, I was like, well, because there were a lot of reality television shows out there.
yeah,
Most of them were not that intelligent.
right.
So I gravitated toward this because I was like, this is interesting because this is actually people who are using talent to do something. But now when I reflect and look at it, I'm like, this show was horrible.
Now we know why. If from what I've heard, being said in the documentary, in the docu-series. From what I've heard is like, and Tyra's not taking responsibility for it, but I'm like, it's your thing. Isn't it your thing? You were the face of it.
She
And
was
now
the
you're
face,
like, well, I
but
don't have anything to do with that.
she looks like she's not remorseful. What the fallback for them, the crutch has become, well, that was what was done then. These were
Right.
the times. But my thing is, replace that with slavery. Well, that was just what they did back in those days. Does that make it right?
That's
does
what they
not.
did back then.
That's just what they did back then. They just used to whip people, but that's just what
And
they
we
did.
were in a different place, entertainment wise and society wise, during the time of that show. It was like reality boom that exploded
Correct.
everywhere. People were doing all kind of crazy things for TV and views, but that didn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. And the interesting thing is that I think everyone has a part to play in this, including viewers.
Yes.
But I think that we may not have been as educated on, obviously we didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, any of the treatment. But when you look at things like forcing models to walk on a moving catwalk that's a treadmill in super high heels, and somebody doesn't break their foot, there have been times where somebody would, like, they had them on these stupid high heels and one person twisted their ankle.
Yeah, all the challenges got really ridiculous, and I just remember like, this is crazy. I don't want to watch any of this because it was just stupid. Like they were just doing things because, well, let's make them do this and that and balance
Exactly.
over a pit of sharks and stupid stuff like that.
And here's the thing: they were also competing with things like Fear Factor, which I can't stand. But that was another reality television show that was out there. Survivor.
It was like Fear Factor, and that kind of genre of TV was very popular, got the views. So they were chasing views.
And it's like, if we want to compete, even though we're something different, we have to be just as outrageous as they are. And so that's where you get that competition to who can be the most outrageous. And it ends up being, or, according to what these young ladies said, it ends up being a terrible time. For some, I'm sure it was fine, especially toward the beginning. But later on down the road, from what we heard, it ended up being a terrible time.
Right.
And Tyra, and this is another thing, I was watching some commentary on this. Now, there were rumors that Tyra was involved as executive producer of this, but it doesn't make sense for that to be the case, because why would they put out something that is just a her type of thing? Because she could say anything and it wouldn't be believed. But the thing is, probably this was going to come out anyway, with or without your participation. So to tell the story, she decided to participate in it.
Okay.
So that's what I've heard, which makes sense to me.
Right.
So that I watch it because I'd love to know what you think about it.
I will. Because I've seen the clip. The clips are all over the place, everywhere. I was
my gosh. And everybody is talking about it. And like I said, we're going to have a conversation about this. What I've seen so far about the conversations, great stuff. There have been some things, but they're really talking about the show itself.
Yes, the production part, the part you don't see, the production part, the things that they decide what to show and what not, the editing, that is always an issue with the reality shows.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about some of those things. We're going to talk about the contestants themselves. We're going to talk about the behind the scenes, because all four of us have involvement in either in the fashion industry, in photography, in reality television, and that type of thing. So we're going to look at it also from a societal standpoint and implication standpoint, which I don't hear being talked about. So I want us to be different. Did you see what happened? I want it to be different than just gossip hour.
And see, here's the part, especially about the fashion industry, there's always been a magical, like, dream world of fantasy of designer clothing and designers and fashion and models. There's always been this fantasy element, but there's always been the hard dirt part, where how they treat the models and how they do this and that. That's always been push, like that's the dirt under the rug. Because fashion, they have to sell you a vision, an idea of what you think. Oh, the fashion, the line, the spring line, the this and that. And it's all fantasy of pushing an imaginary, okay, this is, what you think you look like. But they don't show you the dirty part of it.
No, exactly.
And this is the whole fashion industry, and modeling is a part of that. So I feel like this exposes a lot of it. But I was like I said, some places, websites were talking about, oh, well, Tyra did this and that and that and that. So there's always been the talk of like how she is. It's just that the fantasy part of it, entertainment wise, always puts out, let's put on a great show.
Exactly. And I don't blame Tyra completely.
No,
but your show, you're the face of it. You're going to get blamed. But there were other people that were there. There were other producers that were there. There were, and I don't want to go and blame the contestants because most of them were kids. Usually the oldest person on there was like 24 years old.
Right. So they're the youth factor in it, especially when young people like that, they feel like they're invincible and they could just put up with anything to get to their goal of being the model, being the star, being the this. So they go through things. When they get older, they go, wow, did I really do that? And because it's a whole, your mind, your brain isn't developed as an adult until you're 25. So
watch the documentary. So for those of you all that are interested in this is on Netflix. It is a 3-part documentary. It's called Reality. What's the name? I forgot
the name of it.
It's Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model. Yeah, so I'm wondering if this is not the fact that they called it Reality Check. I'm wondering if this is going to be just the first in a series of other deep
a reality TV phenomenon of the 90s.
Exactly. 90s, 2000s,
early 2000s. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's more coming. So that's what I have today. And
all right. Well, thank you for all those fascinating stories. So we've had a wonderful time as always on Friday. We talked about tech, we talked about social media, we talked about media, a little bit of politics in there. So, but that's how it goes. So we're going to wrap all of this up. We've been talking for a while. So remember to go to bizchicks.net to get more information about the Biz Chicks. And to join Biz Chicks, you text Biz to 33777. And we're going to let Dr. Chachi roll us on out of here.
Okay. So it's not just Fridays. You can get great programming from the Biz Chicks. On Mondays, there is what is it called on Mondays?
Coffee talk. I think it's coffee talk.
Conversations, coffee talk. Right.
It's coffee talks.
Coffee talk. So on Mondays, you get coffee talk where they're talking about business. You definitely want to tune in for that. Tuesday, you have TJ here, and usually with Fran to talk about marketing. Ask TJ about marketing, right?
Yeah.
Wednesdays, you have
Profits and Daily,
Coach Karen Fern, who is your money coach, and they talk all about money and being better with your money. On Thursdays, it's Happy Healthy Thoughts with Robin Shimizu and friends, and they talk about all sorts of health-related topics.
Very important.
Very important. Yeah. And then Friday, you have us. So Tech Life Weekly. You have 5 days of fantastic content. So make sure that you are texting Biz to 33777 so you can find out more, not just about these shows, but also what the Biz Chicks do. And with that, don't forget to go to the front of your own line and have a fantastic weekend.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for tuning in today. We trust you've learned something to help you build a more profitable business and take the hassle out of your hustle. See you next time.